All right. And just like that, we're live on the internet. Welcome to paraglidingtalk.com. Glad you're here. We got a great show lined up. We're going to see what happens. I'm nervously waiting and anticipating the arrival of our guest, Carl Weiseth. I believe that's how you say his last name. I wanted to ask him how to say it properly before we started the show, but I think he may have forgot. I'm getting crickets on all my social contact. So, welcome. Glad you're here. Want to extend my invitation to everybody who is um, logging in to watch the show. You are a part of the best paragliding talk show on the internet on Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Absolutely grateful that you're here. Welcome to everybody who's logging in right now. If you're just now getting your computer together, getting your popcorn popped, you're sitting back and relaxing, know that this show is going to be a good one, no matter what. So I'm glad you're here. We're in moderation with Scott. Scotty is part of the moderation team. He's here in Southern California with us here in sunny San Diego.
Represent Fender.
That's right. Representing Fender. We got Anthony Peregringo. He barely came to the show. He almost went flying in the dark, decided to come and join us. So he's here. Sean Navsker, he can't fly because it's always too windy, rainy, or storming in Ohio. So he has to be a part of the show. And so he's
Well, it's
here.
also dark out here, Robert.
Yeah, and it's
I can see
dark.
the moon. It's
That's dark.
dark. Yeah.
Yeah. So having said all that, I want to mention a couple of sponsors. One of those is PPG Smoke. Now, if you guys don't know, PPG Smoke started off making smoke machines for the paramotors, and basically this little oil injector deal that would inject in the back of your paramotor. And what it evolved into was actually a whole bunch of different stuff: lamels, chase cams, the Unity headset, numbers of other things. And go check out their website, ppgsmoke.com. Awesome website. And also there's some rumblings that he's coming out with a electric paramotor. So pretty cool for that. Uh, Also want to mention another sponsor, that's Harley Milne. He has a school here in Southern California. He is
Harley's
an
in the chat,
expert.
by the way.
Oh, awesome. Dreamlifterparamotors.com. Maybe we'll send him an invite too. He can jump on with us if he wants to. Yeah, dreamlifterparamotors.com. So if you don't know Harley, he actually set a couple world records. One of those was acknowledged by the Guinness Book of World Records. He flew across the United States coast to coast, and he did it in record-breaking time. He's challenging people to try to beat that record. But nevertheless, pretty cool. And if you want to join his school, maybe you're wanting to get some cross-country training, you can go to his website, dreamlifterparamotors.com, sign up, and you're going to get those tips that you need to be able to successfully have an incredible adventure flight. So go sign up with him. Go ahead. It's cool. It's in my room. It's in the next to my wall and stuff. Also want to mention Paramotor Props. Paramotorprops.com is the website. Go check them out. If you accidentally blow up a prop, which it happens to the best of us, and you want to get one quick, I think it took them about 3 days to have a new prop in my possession, and I was very grateful for that. So go check out their website, paramotorprops.com. They're awesome people, by the way, as well. Been trying to get them to come on the show. They're very busy, and it's been nonstop for them over there at One Up Paragliding. But go check out, One Up Adventures. But go check out their website.
What was
So
that
tonight,
again?
One Up Adventures.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I've heard of those guys.
Paramotorprops.com. Yeah. So I got some I planned on having Carl on the show. He was recommended by actually our previous guest Steve Mayer. And Steve is actually a speed flying pilot and instructor himself. He said, dude, you should have Carl on the show. So I reached out to him, sent him an email. We went back and forth, and sounds like he's a super busy guy. He's getting ready to leave the country. All this stuff's going on. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to make an exception. I'll be on the show. No problem. And that's for tonight. And so, I don't know if maybe he got stuck at work or whatever, stuck in traffic, but he's not here yet. We are going to just we're going to hang out. We're going to answer some of your questions. Maybe you're in the chat and want to talk about paragliding. That's why we come here. We want to talk about paramotoring or flying airplanes, whatever it is. But we're going to come up with some good discussions here. I got some great questions I wanted to ask the guests, but I also have some things that I wanted to talk about anyways. So every once in a while, I feel like we need to just have a nice, homely show where we talk about what I want to talk about. Yeah. Let's send Harley an invite. It's a great idea. Dun, 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 dun. I think this will go way faster. I just send it to him like this. Look at that,
Harley,
hot buttered Steve.
Look at your email. Come on. Get on.
Come on. Come on.
Come on.
Come on. There we go. Harley's got too many emails. Come on. Come on. We got Ripman in the chat. We got in the chat. Welcome.
We got Nick some ugly rappers in the chat. Clark Kent.
What up, Clark Kent? He's going to be at the shop tomorrow. Clark, you got to bring the donuts, bro.
Is he? That's right. He is.
I don't see him.
Yeah.
I see him.
If he's flying a little back to Tori tomorrow, we're gonna buzz Tori. We're gonna tell those sleepy, quiet people, ridge soaring.
Wake them up.
We're gonna wake them up. Two-stroke, 185 cc's, baby.
Hot buttered Steve said, "Take your shirt off, Robert." Oh, you don't want to see what's underneath here.
You will if Hot Butter Steve does a $100 super chat. I just sold it.
Yeah, I would do that.
There you go.
I would do that.
And the guy behind you, the kid behind you, actually, hold on.
Yeah.
How old is he? That might be illegal.
Yeah, you might want to change that.
Yep. Chris Altmeier's in the chat. What up, Chris? How you doing? Yep. The Paramom is here as well. Welcome, Paramom.
As he walks by every 2 years. Robert's got so many boys. He's an old man living in his shoe. He's got so many boys. Every 2 years, we're going to see a kid walking by, flexing.
Yep. Yep. We got Lord Mark Rogers in the chat. Hello there. Tori Pope. Tori, I hope the beard's still doing good.
Tori, nice.
Yep. I hope one of the things I wanted to actually talk about and was asked is, are we still going to be doing the salt and sea flying in February? Because I heard another guy went out there and it's just completely locked down. It's like they're protecting that sand now. Got fences and all kinds of, I don't know what the heck's going on out there. Yeah. Duckspit PPG. Welcome. So I'm halfway there.
Harley.
Oh, you're muted here. Let me see if I can.
Hey guys.
What up, Harley?
What's up, Harley?
Good to see you guys. I feel like it's been a while.
How are the grapes? Man.
So, yeah.
How's the grapes?
How's the grapes? Yeah, the grape land is good. Bumper harvest this year. You know, everything got harvested kind of late, and yeah, twice as much as we had last year. And last year should have been good, and it wasn't. So. Seemed like all the hard work the owners put in this year paid off.
Nice. But it's all about those grapes and grape land.
Yeah, I wish I'd had a chance to do some more flying because this time of year everything turns red and orange. It's beautiful to go fly up above it, and I haven't had much chance. And we just had some rain, so what leaves are left are going to be coming off.
Oh yeah. Did you get a whole bunch of rain? Because we got a pretty good dousing yesterday.
Yeah, it hasn't been too much. It seems like our rain meter isn't working right, so just a little sprinkle, I think.
Oh, that's a good point. I should look at my weather machine. We're gonna have to start paying for this soon. I got a weather station on the house, It's internet based. Hey, there's Will Fly joined. Yeah, it's nice to have a little weather station at the house. You can just log in, see how much rain I got at the house. Let me
Yeah.
just look here. So, how's the school been going?
It's been a very, very interesting year. I thought I'd be teaching a lot of new students, and but in reality, I've had quite a few guys that learned to fly with some other school and have either purchased new equipment or new wings, and needed a little bit of transition time. So that's been fantastic. And
Nice.
actually, I have a new student that was supposed to start today, but we shifted it to next week because of the weather that we've had.
Yeah.
But it's good. Obviously, I want things to grow and get busier and so forth, but it's been at a fairly nice pace. And those that worked at it, had some good success. And it's the interesting thing about doing more training for individuals that need more time, kind of like how I was to begin with. It's a bit of work for some people. It's you can't just pull a tuck of gut and throw the damn thing on your back and off you go.
Yeah.
And I had a couple students with electric paramotors, and one of the things that you can't do that you can do with gas powered motors is kind of reduce the amount of weight they have to carry by reducing the amount of fuel. So where you could put in a gallon of gas for somebody, which would be 6 pounds, these guys are carrying 25 pounds worth of gas. And so it took a bit of work for those guys, but got them flying.
That's one of the hardest things for me is high altitude launches with a full tank. Gosh, my little getaway sticks underneath my body just cannot go fast enough to get up in the air.
With a full tank, I don't think it's easy for anyone, really.
Yeah. You know what?
The weight.
We should pull up the videos that Ripman, if he's okay with it, that Ripman posted from that last flying adventure in Utah.
Oh my goodness.
Did you watch
Scotty pulled
that? That was highly entertaining.
Yes.
I had commented on that, as a matter of fact, and he had replied, and I was like, "Wow," like that.
Yeah, that's a show all by itself.
It is, man. I mean,
and that could be a when to call it, when not to call it. Kind of, like, okay, in this scenario right here, you see this guy, would you have said abort, and just aborted, or would you keep trying to fight that wing up?
Right.
Some of these guys went like full 45-degree difference mid launch and still got up in the air somehow.
Yep.
Yeah. That was crazy.
I could not believe some of the crashes too. People were getting mangled. And I'm like, golly, what is going on in that little tiny piece of airspace that was just wrecking? I mean, it was havoc.
Yeah.
I'm so glad for Ripman for posting that because it gave me like a good half hour of entertainment in the morning.
I do believe that was higher altitude as well.
And
that contributed a lot. Yeah, that contributed to a lot of those issues that people were running across. Once you pull it up, you need to go. You either commit or don't.
Gringo's got a smirk on his face because I bet he's pulling it up right now.
He probably is.
Pulling it up right now.
Yeah, Scott's got
Oh, you got it, Scotty? Nice.
I think so.
There was one guy with like a...
Is it popping up?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
There's one guy with like a...
Pesci's wing. No. Oh, yeah.
Is that Pesci? It looks like him.
But it's his wing.
What were you going to say?
Well, but we also got to think too. We don't want to defer anybody from Ripman's page.
Look at that. Look at that.
Turn, Clyde.
This was the full 45. It was crazy.
Clyde.
Right?
Nope.
Yeah.
That's a lot of luck.
That's
a lot of luck. Yeah.
You got to give him some points for sticking to his guns because I mean that guy. Can we rewind that one more time?
That guy was committed.
Yeah.
He
that one. I mean, he was just going with it.
But that's the thing, though. When if he had done the wrong motions and the wrong movements during this whole interlude here on what he's doing, if he had made one mistake, That's all.
I
it
mean,
looked
I
like.
think he made a mistake by not aborting that launch. But
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
He should have. He
Look
should
at
have.
that. He's like, he did an assessment,
mean,
quick assessment. He's like, I'm just going to mess up a few of these guys' wings.
Look at there's
Yeah.
4 or 5
Now-
people laid out there. There was no intention to fly behind them. I think
Yeah.
in front of them.
And you can see them
Tell me.
running.
Did anyone? Oh man, he
There
had to
was
have broke
one-
a prop.
There was one guy with a blue edge wing.
Mm.
I felt so bad for the guy
Yes.
because first of all, the edge, I don't think they've made them since 2015 or 2016.
Yes,
And-
he bought that online for sure.
And I was like, I was waiting for somebody to just take that wing away from him and give him something else. But
Yeah.
I did hear, you know, props to the guy because I believe he was a double amputee as well.
No
This is
kidding.
the
And he
guy
just kept going.
with an 8-year-old wing that doesn't like to fly at altitude, right? So they were at 4,000 feet.
Oh my word.
He might have not been the fastest guy on his feet, and I felt horrible for him. I was just waiting for someone to just lend him a different wing and give him a shot at it. But
Were you out there, by the
Gosh.
way?
I wasn't there, unfortunately. No.
Oh, okay.
There was
Yeah,
looks like there's
yeah.
a lot of trikes, and a couple things I noticed is just it looks like trikes just beat the crap out of your wing on launch. It looks like it's definitely 10 times more difficult.
Oh, this is the guy. This
launch.
guy gets jacked up, doesn't he? Yeah, I think this is the one.
Don't get sucked in.
Yeah. So that
Yeah,
guy ended up
He
having
made a
bad
right turn
time.
and tipped. Somebody flipped it. He's gonna reset
That's
here. Look,
that
This is the
Dominator?
guy. This is the guy with that edge.
Oh, the edge.
That was a gin
blue-
carb,
that blue
wasn't it?
one, yeah. It's just.
Oh, here we go again. Yeah, it seems like trike guys, you're right, Anthony. All they do is they just nail it full throttle and hopefully
Look
they
at
just kind of ride out the pendulum.
oh,
You know?
oh.
Oh,
Oh,
now
really
that
smart.
could have been really bad, but I heard that this guy
Yeah.
was okay. He did damage his gear pretty bad, but he was okay. Yes.
Man.
Special shout out, by the way, to Ripman for putting this together because he was out there the whole trip. He didn't even have gear. He was flying other people's stuff. He just showed up and started filming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you think everyone had this problem or this is just outtakes of the people that
No,
weren't
this is almost every launch. Almost every
Really?
launch.
This was pretty common. This was pretty common during this
Look at
entire
that.
video,
Why,
actually.
why did that
Yeah.
fall down like that? There's no
It just-
reason for that.
They just didn't want to launch. They just
That
didn't wanna
wing
come
did
up.
not want to come up. Look at this one.
So,
Nope.
so a few of them, obviously, there's a lot of heavy in the brakes. There's a lot of releasing the A's too soon, but they're at 4,800 altitude. So,
And
Yeah.
jumping in the seat. I have noticed that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of jumping in the seat and forcing it, even though,
you
it
definitely
seemed
gotta
like
run
a lot
more.
of these guys were struggling with control of
Yeah.
keeping control of the
Look at
glider,
that
keeping the
guy.
oscillations
He is-
down, being
Gosh.
directly underneath.
Dude, he was
know?
running so fast. You can't
Yeah.
run any faster.
Yeah.
and then you're right, Anthony. They're so deep in the brakes, they're just I think that's preventing them from getting up to speed too.
Yeah.
You know?
You listen. I mean, I get it. I have a 120-yard dash launch at 3,000 feet that I couldn't believe. I just had to keep running, and it slowly lifted me up. But I mean, I'm on my 185, and I'm a big boy. So
Big
some of
boy.
these guys are definitely are smaller, and they should come up a little faster. But you're at that altitude, you have to run more. You have to have more thrust and just get up faster or something. But
Yeah.
I mean, that guy's even rocking the Spider 3 and he's really trying to
He's working.
Well,
it.
but I think
going.
that's where it's really important to have your ground game down. When it's going to be a struggle, you want to have your ground game under control where you can put that glider where you need it.
I think there just wasn't any wind. So it's hard to have good posture with 80 pounds on your back, and then straighten up. It really is.
Especially no wind or switching. It seemed like that was a lot of the issues out there was switching wind.
Yeah.
And it seems like a lot of people kind of did like the river of air kind of thing, but it seems like it kind of almost messed up their wings more than helped anything. on it, because it seems like it just got so turbulent, it kind of screwed them all up rather than just trying to hit it hard.
Yeah, most of these are obviously troubled launches. Even the landings, some of the landings, they're coming in hotter, and they're not quite used to it. So there was obviously there's a lot of very let's say beginners, and I don't think they should be learning this at 5,000 feet. But
well,
yeah.
and not only that, but that's something that we haven't discussed before too. A lot of these pilots, when they go to fly-ins, it's in a different area, a different atmosphere. Everything is completely different, and so what you would do at home might not work where you're at.
There's a lot of pressure too to get in the air. You got 150, 250, 350 people watching you, and you feel like if you're going to try and launch, you're going to commit it earlier. So I don't know. I think there's definitely the pressure.
Matthew Pesci was there. He's in the chat. I just sent him an invite. Yeah. Matt, if you want to come on, I would love it.
There are a couple guys there though, that still made it look pretty good, right? I mean, that guy with the car, if he worked at it, and even this guy, right? He's working it. He's got to lean back once he gets the wing up, but he works it long enough that he solves the problem, and that's what you want to see, right? It's just when it's rolling from side to side, those are the guys you worry about.
Yeah, with those trikes and quads. Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, or when they're running one way and the whole thing's going a whole different way,
and still giving throttle while it's wonky, and that's abort, please abort. Let's to your right. No, your other right.
Yeah.
So I flew 2 launches yesterday at sea level, so
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It still happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of fun for me to look back on that because when I blew up those 2 props in Wyoming, where the airport was at 8,000, and I think with the density altitude on that 18-meter wing, I think I was close to 10,000. Like I was never going to get off the ground. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. That density altitude is brutal. Do you guys remember when we had that guest on? I think his name was it Kenny? He had invented a altimeter that instead of reading barometric pressure, it actually gave you a density altitude.
There's a Black Hawk wing.
Yeah, that's that guy with the edge, man.
Yeah. My very first wing was the Black Hawk or the Paratoys Momentum, which was before that one, and it was a copy of the Eden, I think. And it was such a dog trying to get up, but it made me such a better launcher once I got a real wing. Once I got a Mac Para Muse, like it was like, wow, this is so much easier.
Yeah, I felt the same way.
We used to call the Eden the flying mattress because that's what it felt like coming up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've actually flown one, and it was a mattress.
I mean, they were hard to get up above your head. And, the Paratoys one, which was Black Hawk. Ooh.
He ate
Don't go in the... yeah.
And the prop is spinning like...
Still spinning, yeah.
Fast.
Oh, yeah.
I think half the prop.
Oh my gosh.
Ow. You like how the majority of people are just like watching, like, hey, check this out, Jim, and only like one person goes to help the guy.
There was one, I can't remember what part, or I think he posted like 4 episodes of this, and they're all relatively long. But there was one where
this one's 17.
It was in the background, way off in the distance, and you see somebody crash, and then you see the reason why it caught my attention is because you see these guys running.
Proud, yeah.
And
what's up, Matt?
Commented on that.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up,
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Good.
So Matt went to Utah flying with a couple other Raptors, Jason, and I think did Jay go with you?
Yeah.
Jay and Mark C, right? We call him Mark.
Yeah, Mark. Who else do we have? We had a couple guys, but we didn't stick around for this. We actually went to a different LZ because we weren't feeling it when we showed up. We kind of looked at the weather and it was going to be windy a lot, and the altitude was high. So we went to roughly where it was last year. It was about 1,500 feet lower elevation.
Yeah.
Dang, those coyotes are right in my backyard right now.
So
That's
we
great.
figured Lines in a Day had record sales that weekend, and Paramotor Props probably sent out quite a few shipments.
I'm really shocked at how many. I've never seen so much carnage at one fly-in.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that, and I haven't spent a whole lot of time at fly-ins, but man, what do you guys think contributed to all these things? I mean, I'm looking at the brush on the ground. That probably didn't help very much.
Not many people launch at this altitude.
What altitude was it, Matt?
It was 40. I think he said it was like 42, but in the afternoon, it was probably density altitude was more like 5,000.
Yeah, you can tell it's high pressure.
What
Those
percentage
clouds
of the population launches there? A lot of these people were from maybe the Midwest or something. I mean, even us. I mean, San Diego, we don't. I mean, Buckman's pretty high, but not this high.
Yeah, Buckman's up there like
3,000 or so, yeah. But I mean, obviously with that, you're gonna lose thrust too. So,
dude, Buckman beats me up every time.
Yeah, it does.
When somebody invites me, I'm like, oh no, can we go somewhere else?
I'll tell you one thing that I see a lot there, and I'm kind of curious what other people's feeling is. It's like, when I learned, there was a big push to, you get sort of 50 feet off the ground before you try and get into your seat. And I know that some of the motors do kind of scoop you into that seat pretty quickly, but there does seem to be this habit of like people getting in their seat, a foot and a half, 2 feet off the ground. And I'm like,
yeah,
you'd see very experienced guys doing that, but not so much the less experienced guys. But
it's the same thing with free flight. There's guys that jump in too soon. Yeah, and I do it myself. I'm so confident that I can keep my hands on the toggles and get in my seat, but there's a lot of harnesses that you got to take a hand off and pull your seat board underneath you, or you're set yourself up. But I
use a kick strap, and that's great.
The other thing
with a motor, it helps a lot with your straps. Your
this was the awesome one. That was the best one.
Man, it was like he was water skiing.
I think it was a she.
But if you have your leg straps
that was
tighter
full
on your legs, it's easier to get into your seat. But a lot of times the leg straps don't fit correctly, and when they're trying to get in their seat, they can't. So they just use their hands or their arms to get in.
She almost makes it, but
going almost.
Full commitment. Did you do the phone fall? Phone on a tether?
Yeah, I saw that fall. Yeah.
Body surf takeoff.
So the other thing I think is, if this fly-in were held 5 or 6 years ago, there would have been more people in the air. Reason why I say that, people are flying smaller wings now. That's the trend. Everybody wants to fly 5, 6 years ago, people were flying 24, 25 meter wings, and maybe they wouldn't have had as much trouble. I don't know. That's just a guess. But
this guy finally, nope, not yet.
No.
He never got a flight.
He tried so many times.
I don't think he ever got in there.
The guy with the edge never flew?
I don't think he did.
From what I heard, one of the members of our group were out there, and I don't think he ever did get off the ground.
That's Randy right there. He's really struggling right there.
Yeah, it looked like Randy's wing. I don't know if
he finally got it.
Go.
I mean, I kind of agree that with Matt that a lot of people are flying these smaller wings, and it's fine if you're flying at sea level, but the moment you go up to something with a bit of altitude, you almost have to go up by 2 meters to sort of have a chance, not unless you're very, very skilled and have a lot of practice doing it, and even then it's a workout.
Well, I would think the smaller wing would inflate a little easier though. This guy in the blue, it just looked like he was just dragging it every time, and I don't know.
Yeah, that wing sucked.
I'll bet you that edge was at least a 30 meter, right? Because typically they were to get them to inflate and to carry anybody at 180 pounds. that's a big wing. I mean, easily 28 or 30-meter wing, which
I say since we're showing this, obviously there's a lot of guys in this video that went to Utah. I say next week if they want to come on and spend 2 minutes explaining their lunch.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's a lot of legitimate excuses and stuff, but obviously some stuff too is chalked up to inexperience. Altitude obviously had a lot to do with it.
We're going to be cooking some turkeys next Thursday, but maybe the following Thursday.
Oh,
yeah. See,
well, and it's not so much.
Why? Look at that. You got the flag in there. You got some wind going.
Yeah. See, that's the thing is I don't get because the wind's going. Matt, was the wind just
look at him
super switchy all the time?
Whoop. Oh,
that's a prop. Paramotorprops.com. We should spin the wheel, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Hot Buttered Steve donated $10 to the super chat. He said, super dusty flying. You are dust and shall return to dust, which is why I don't dust. It could be someone I know. That's awesome.
He would have donated 10 times more that Robert had you removed your shirt.
I would have took off too for $100.
All right. So no more names in the wheel.
Yep.
I've already. Oh, I can't start screen sharing. Other participant is sharing. Okay. All right. Here we go.
You good?
All right. So no more names in the wheel.
No more names in the wheel. Sean said.
And
episode 284.
I put something special on there for y'all. Are you ready?
Yep. Ready? Go ahead and spin the wheel. The spin of this wheel is brought to you by Calamity Kite Clinic. CalamityKiteClinic.com is the website. You're going to want to go and get some better ground handling skills because when it counts, that's when it's most important. And if you know how to ground handle, you can pretty much launch anytime, anywhere. If you don't know how to ground handle,
like you're 5,000 feet in Utah,
you're going to let the ground handle you. So I want to encourage you to go check out his website, CalamityKiteClinic.com. Also want to mention Nebraska PPG. Josh Bowden has a school there in Nebraska. You want to sign up for his training course. It is amazing. Nebraska PPG. I wish he had a website so I could just say NebraskaPPG.com, but he doesn't. So you're going to have to reach out to him through Facebook.
Wait, he does?
And
he has a website.
Yeah, I don't know why he's the only one you don't have in your description down below every week. By the way, if you look in my chat, I just put up NebraskaParamotor.com.
Oh, really? Well, that's good to know.
Reddit
moment. Congratulations, Reddit moment. Reddit moment. You don't even know what you won. I'm going to keep it a surprise. This guy's hilarious.
He's digging your mustache.
This is one of my favorite guys. And Reddit moment. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you for playing the game. I'm going to send you a gift. I'm going to need you to go on the website, paraglidingtalk.com/contact and send me your information. I need your address and your shirt size. I might send you a shirt and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we send you, but you'll be pleasantly pleased.
Nebraska PPG's in the house. He's in the chat.
He's in the chat.
Yeah.
Somebody send him an invite. You know what? Let's do something. Let's just take it to the next level. Should we do it? Just put it on. Just give them the code. We're going to just open up the floodgates.
Okay.
Just do it. Paraglidingtalk.com madness. Pesci's like, no, don't do that. I never get to come on the show.
Well, something that's good for folks to remember is that, if you think in the terms of smaller wing, more running, that's what it is. When you have no wind or extremely light wind, if you're coming out with an 18-meter wing, heck, even say a 16-meter wing, and the wind's not blowing, you're going to be running and doing a sprint. Now, if you got a little bit bigger wing, it's gonna come up. Yeah, it's gonna take more effort to get it up. You're not gonna have to run as much, but you're still gonna have to put forth some effort. You got to pick the right tool for the job. If it's too big of a wing, you're not gonna get it up. If it's too small of a wing, you got to run to make it come up. Yeah.
I think Mike Robinson from Blackhawk said that his rule of thumb is 10 to 11 pounds per square meter. is what you should be, comfortable on a wing. So, if you got a 200 pounds all up, then you should have at least 20-meter wing, maybe a 21. And then, from there, I mean, that's a little conservative, but,
Will Fly donated $5 to the super chat. He said, Thanksgiving is coming. Please consider donating to Resurgence PPG. Thanks, Will Fly. That's a good spot to put a plug in there for them real quick. Yeah. Resurgence PPG is a 501c3, by the way. If you make a tax-deductible donation to them, you support our men and women of uniform. Go check out their website, resurgencepppg.com. Sorry, Harley, I didn't mean to step on you.
Oh, yeah, no, not at all. I was to say, of course, with airplanes, we have these, performance charts that calculate, how much, runway you're going to need for taking off with a given altitude and temperature. It would be kind of cool to, figure out a way to do that for PPG, where you could punch in your weight and what size wing you have, and get some idea what you might be in, and just help set some expectations about what it's going to take to get off the ground. Because I think a lot of guys get laid out there and go like, yeah, I think I can do this.
I got this. Speaking of, congratulations, Harley. I know you got nose to the grindstone, and you got your pilot's license. I heard you got your check ride and you did all the things you had to do.
Actually, what I managed to get finished this year was my commercial. So
that's right.
Yeah, so I'm well on my way. I've been flying airplanes now for about 3 years, and so I've got my commercial, and I'm currently working on my CFI. So hopefully, early part of next year, I'll be able to start teaching people to fly airplanes as well.
That's awesome. Will Fly is an instructor.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah, Will Fly's in the chat too. I'm waiting for the floodgates to open. They're all delayed. Everybody, what's up, Mark Rogers?
How's it going?
Good, man. Yeah, so Tori Pope said, as I wear my PPG Talk shirt often. So that's awesome, Tori. Yeah, we've got we're very fortunate to be able to launch at sea level. And very rarely do we have to launch at altitudes. I'll do it. I'll push it to the next level if I have to, just so I can squeak out a flight. But man, I do really appreciate some good wind. I need some wind. And I know it seems like it's counterintuitive to what you want to do. If you're a paramotor guy, you're like, man, I just want butter smooth, and I want to be able to just go. I want to be able to kick bushes and trees and stuff and not have to worry about it. If there's wind, you feel like you have to be on this edge. You're like, oh, it's kind of spooky. I'm going to stay high or higher. You're worried about rotor the whole time. So my launches, I feel like it's so important to me to be able to have a reverse launch. I'll do a forward, but I feel so I'm so disconnected. When I start running, I don't feel anything. The only time I know the wing is above me is I can see on the corner of my eyes. I see my risers come up. Like, oh, yeah, there it is. And I'm looking. I would love to get to that place where I like I'm with free flying. It's like, I don't even look. I could launch with my eyes closed, literally, and just send it.
Only way to get there.
I can feel.
Only way to get there is we fly from your house more often.
Now, Big Nick Fulmore said no one got hurt, so it was kind of fun to watch everyone struggling to launch. There was a slight uphill, definitely making launch even harder. So it's very possible that they were on a slight incline while they're running uphill, trying, which I do get that. That could make it quite a struggle.
Yeah, that's underrated for sure. If there's any kind of uphill involved in your launches, especially at altitude, holy moly. Yeah.
Mazen
Don't you?
in the chat.
Who's that?
Someone.
Mazen?
Mazen.
What's up, Mazen? That's awesome.
He just comes in to do a little creep.
We got to take him on a we got to take him on a flight.
He jumped out of an airplane with Brad. Brad took him skydiving. So,
no kidding.
Yeah, that was last year, I think. So yeah,
I'll take him on a tandem.
Story.
I'll take you on a tandem.
There you
just let's go, Mazen. Eventually.
I did notice a lot of sticks in the video where those guys were trying to launch out there. A lot of times sticks would be dropping from their gliders.
Oh yeah, true.
Trying to take off while they're
I saw
motoring
that.
up even. Yeah.
Yeah, that goes underrated as well. You have to be really careful because it works similar to a tension knot. And I've seen some guys just get hammered from tension knots.
Yeah,
And
those are bad in free flight.
yeah, it's funny how something as insignificant as a blade of weed brush can completely change the trajectory of your flight. I watched Phil Russman and another pilot. They were doing a tandem and they were going to do some kind of falconry while they were flying at Palomar. And they had a huge cravat from some garbage that was stuck in the wing, and they launched and they were off, and there was no, like, you're not going to turn around. And I watched them fight it and fight and fight, and they're pulling all different lines, and finally it popped out. And I'm like, dude, that is terrifying. And that was a new guy, and I'll never forget that. But they sorted it in the air, two guys, big old giant wing. It's probably he's probably able to do that because he's so bird feather light. It was that wing is a tandem wing, but it probably didn't feel the weight of a tandem. Probably thought there was one person flying it. Yeah, you got to be careful with those sticks. My frustration is when I'll try to go and launch and half of the wing grabs to the ground and I can't feel it, and I take off for my forward launch and it's part of it is attached to the ground. When it spins, it's like it's doing this. By the time you even get it over your head, it's already wanting to go into a helicopter. That's how I chopped up my lines one time.
Yeah, flying in Chelan, we get a north wind occasionally, and when it comes from the north, it'll switch to be apparent east, and then it'll switch the other direction and go apparent west. I was making a launch during the competition this last year, and just as I was going full send, the wind switched. And I totally went face first right into the dirt.
Oh, there was a handful of those in our video. Do we still have that video going?
Yeah, I still got it up. Let me check.
Yeah. Let me just real quick put a plug in for Max Acro. MaxAcro.com is the website. He's got he does SIV clinics here in Southern California, but he also does them. He'll take groups overseas. And so if you want to check his website out, it's maxacro.com. Also want to mention Lone Star Paramotor. If you're in the Lone Star State of Texas, you can reach out to Ron Turan and his team for world-class training. That's lonestarparamotor.com. Yeah.
Now let's be clear here, Robert. So that way, in case we do have some of the people that are in this video watching our show, we're not trash talking these pilots by any means. We're not trying to nitpick them in any way.
No, this is learning experience time here.
This is strictly
for educational purposes.
I was going to say, I'm here to critique and mock.
Well, we've got to keep it civil for the internet, Robert. Some of these guys are probably our fans of the show. They probably watch the show often.
You're right.
These are people that we know. We fly with,
I didn't know my mom showed up.
Well, when you go to Big White Paramotor Fly-Ins, Mr. Robert, you'll notice that these guys remember you and you remember them quite well.
That's true. That's true. All right, I'll be nice.
You want to have a good experience, and hopefully they have a good experience too.
I will say that there is a very high probability that if I was there, I would have been in this video, and I would have been mock worthy with 5 attempted launches.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
It happens to everyone.
2 to this.
No, there was like part 4. It took
Wow.
some serious time to edit all these up.
Yeah.
Look at that big old chunk
absolutely.
of grass in the.
Oh yeah.
It's cool.
And now we can put a shout out for Rip Man for his editing capabilities, because he did a phenomenal job of catching each one and cutting it off after they've gotten either in the air or on the ground, one way or the other. He did a phenomenal job catching and editing all this, because that is where the most time is in the editing, not the shooting. That's
an acro wing right there, pretty sure.
Some of those guys did make it look pretty good. You know, even though you could see it was taking quite a bit of work. You know, so I think it was a great video for people wanting to see the good, the bad, and the ugly, and learn from it. So normally I
This
wouldn't.
is what
You
paramotoring
can
really is.
see on some of them, and you can see on some of them, they have complete control of that glider. They bring it up, they have it above them. Yes, they're running like crazy and they're running for like a football field or a stadium, but they're keeping the wing above them and a positive load to where it's they get right off the ground and it's a beautiful takeoff,
right there. Done.
Yeah, he almost had it, but he looks like he tripped up just a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah,
Go for a hole.
that brush will get you.
Yeah.
Now, what I think should happen with this video, Rip, is you need to do some green screen stuff and have some guy, maybe plinking them off when they crash. I've seen those videos. Oh,
my question for Rip was, did he fly? Because Rip likes to fly off the beach.
Yeah.
He said he did. He borrowed. Remember, he flew in there to Vegas with a buddy and met up with a buddy, and then they drove out there. But he did borrow some equipment, so I think he got a flight or two in. But for the most part, he likes he enjoys the camaraderie.
Yeah. It looks to me like the only option you have.
Oh, he's sitting down.
Oh, that was close.
Wow, I am really shocked that guy got off the ground. I think you just have to let it full on rip. You cannot play games like this guy, not enough energy, obviously. The guys that are having successful launches are just full steam. Boom, full gas. Yeah.
They're hitting it,
Yeah. You can't wait to figure out if your wing's doing okay. You just got to go. Like this guy.
Well, if it feels right, if it's smooth and it feels right.
That's what I'm saying.
But if it's not smooth, that's the thing. That's that millisecond, like what we've talked about for the last couple of years. It's that millisecond of anything can happen. It can go wrong. It can go right. It's the choice.
Yeah.
It's the choice of whether to keep going or to not. And that's where people struggle often is.
Some of them I can see. So when they are fully committed, and I've been there where I'm fully committed, and you're going so fast and hard, and you haven't left yet. And if you've got something, you haven't left the ground yet, and if you've got some wing disturbance, you're on the edge of wiping out hard or launching really hard, and it works. Sometimes it works, and I mean, kudos to the guys that commit and just go for it, because they're going to wipe out hard, or they're going to go for it. They're going to make it. But I've been there.
That girl that stayed committed all the way to the ground, just dragging her feet. It was like she had full hope that thing was going to take her up in the air, and it just kept getting worse and worse all the way to the ground, like a snail.
It's fun actually having that kind of a launch when you're paragliding, like free flight, and then you actually get up.
Oh yeah, miracle launch.
That's another thing to be said. You got unlimited retries. You don't have to commit and just take it and just go with it one time. And I think a lot of these guys, I think for a lot of folks, that they put their ego into it a little bit. Now this isn't all people. But some people take a great sense of pride of, I've launched 1 million times. I've flown thousands of flights. I've got this. And they'll go out there, lay it out, try to send it immediately, first go around. No one's going to look at you like you're a failure if you have to retry again. Or, you have to relay your stuff out and take a minute, assess what happened, and try to correct it or rectify it, There's no harm in that. Yeah, absolutely. And I commend those guys that do that when they make that decision. That is a very hard decision. I've ran, 50 yards and I'm exhausted. I decided to kill it because I wasn't comfortable with it.
Yeah, see that launch right there? He does not play games. He was like, just yank it in the air. Was there a ton of scouts out there? Scout paramotors? I feel like when I first got into the sport, it was like everybody, it was all about scouts. And I don't know if that's the same anymore.
I had
think
a
it's a
Scout,
desired.
and yeah, I drank the Kool-Aid, and the very first time my garage door hit the Scout, fell down, broke like 4 pieces of it. You know,
Oh no.
when it was just when it was just sitting on the bench, and I'm actually back to my Nitro. I know some people hate Nitros, but I like that way better than my Scout. You know,
Oh, if I had a Scout, I would have destroyed it by now.
Yeah.
I bent my Parajet Maverick hoop with lines.
Yeah, I mean, it's
couldn't
just so
believe that.
brittle. Yeah,
Well, at least with the Parajet, you can bend it back and get back in the game.
I did it, yeah.
Yep.
And I'm not hating on Scout. I feel like they got to be lighter, no?
You know what I
Oh,
think
yeah.
is it's kind of like the
they're heavier.
Prestige. It's like
Yeah,
it's like when you can drive a Rolls Royce or you can drive a Yugo. You know, they'll both get you to A and B.
Awesome.
But one will look a little bit better, and it might run a little bit better. It might not.
I
You know,
mean,
it might be just more of a you thing. You know,
I didn't
it
like it
depends on your life
because
crisis. If you're
Well,
high
because
level,
I was like way
crisis,
too close to it. I was the bars are meant for skinnier guys in Europe who not like me in America, and like it was just jamming into me the sides there, and you couldn't extend it at all. And it was actually just as heavy as most other ones. It really wasn't lighter. You think it would be, but it wasn't. So
I'll be more than happy to try your Scout, Scott. All you got to do is just ship it to me out here at my place, and I'll be more than happy to tell you whether the skinny guy thing really works or not. I mean, it might. I'm a pretty skinny guy. I bet you I could probably fit in it. Just saying.
I don't know. The Scout has its pros, right? I think my sort of only personal ding on it really is that I just feel like it's a very noisy machine. Like there's a lot of vibration from from especially if they're running an E-prop and all that other carbon fiber, it seems to be a little noisier than others, which when you're out there far away from people, it's probably not a big deal. But when you're taking off from airports and flying around where there's a bit of congestion, it just seems like it's a bit noisier. And I mean, I think if you're flying in conditions that are easier when you're learning on it, it's great, right? It works just fine. It works like anything else that you might learn on. But I think if you're, you suddenly go to somewhere like this where you're used to flying with a bit of laminar wind on the beach, and then you come up to Utah at 4,000 feet and no wind, I guess that would be true of any motor. You're gonna struggle up, but at least with something you can bend straight, you can keep flying.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely learned how to do carbon fiber, which is cool. But no, you're right, Harley, because the back plate is this full-on plate, and it pretty much what ended up happening is it would vibrate so much with the regular harness in there because there wasn't much padding in the back, and it actually vibrated more than my Nitro, where things were kind of like looking wavy. And so I did not like that. I ended up putting a the comfort seat from Dudek on it, and that really helped a lot more on it.
I mean, we've got a lot of guys that here in Northern California that learn to fly either up in Eureka or down at Salton, and it's a very popular machine. So but little on the noisy. Maybe I'm just getting old, right? I'm like, it's
noisy kids,
right? Because you just hear things clicking a lot more because, like, when the carbon fiber goes on carbon fiber. But the one thing I really didn't like was the pull start, because the pull start was literally right here, and you don't have that leverage like you do with like the Parajet, where it's up here with the pulley to make it a lot easier. That was one of my. I would get worn out getting that thing running more than anything, and it made it not fun.
I
that was my experience.
I bear no opinions until Scout likes to sponsor the show and would like to send me a paramotor that I could test out and try out, and then I'd be more than happy to send positive feedback in every way that I possibly could for the sponsorship and the equipment.
They probably did the best research and development set of videos on YouTube.
I think so.
I mean, they were very
good.
thorough, very clean and organized.
Yes.
that whoever
Yep.
did marketing on that was really great. John Wayne, he said, my MacFly is indestructible. I keep hearing things about MacFly. It seems like that's the direct competition to the Parajet Maverick now. Seems like they're like neck and neck. So some of the top dogs are getting influenced by
really
MacFly
too.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Have you guys
'cause-
seen that AliExpress thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I really enjoy the looks of the Parajet Maverick, as a matter of fact, and I'm,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
pretty
it's
impressed with their build quality. It's a nice looking machine.
You know
And,
what the Ferrari is though of paramotors? I have to say it's Nirvana.
Nirvana.
Yeah, they do
they're
make nice stuff.
insane. I mean, it's obviously more expensive, but man, they are really nice. God, when you get older and fatter, I'm thinking more and more, I really appreciate a button that can just make it start. You know what I mean? Because when I'm
Yeah.
standing there and I'm trying to pull, I'll be covered in sweat before I even get off the ground.
It's all about priming, dude. You
I
gotta
don't have a priming bulb anymore. I went to prime the bulb and it squirted gas on my hand. And I'm like, what the heck happened?
And the sad thing is you're in an area of low humidity, Robert. Now imagine if you
I
were
know.
in my area where it's high
Ugh.
humidity and you're
Yeah.
pulling that line. Oh boy, you want to talk about some soaking wet hands? You better have gloves on, bud, because your handle's going to be soaked by the time you're done jerking on that thing.
Mom
I'm thinking
chimes
that
in.
EFI looks like a good deal now.
You learn how to prime the bulb
Yeah.
really good though in
EFI.
humid weather.
We were talking about EFI today, actually. That I think is going to be the future.
I think
That-
Very
so.
possibly.
gotta make
Well,
sure
I mean,
those-
you just there's I saw a really funny meme the other day. It was a pyramid and it was like this at the bottom it was like elementary school, then it went high school, then it went college, and then it was like this degree, master's degree, doctorate, and at the very pinnacle it said anyone who can tune carburetors.
I guess I'm a pickle then.
It's
I will
it's
say this: Nirvana has probably one of the most fuel efficient motors on the market, right? I mean, there's quite a few guys now that have shown how, they can get 4 or 5 hours on flying those Nirvanas. There's just shocking how fuel efficient they are. So they definitely have a place for guys that are doing long cross country trips.
I was going to say, yeah, for Harley, that's a good selling point. If you can tell him he's going to get an extra 20 or 30 miles.
Yeah.
We were talking to somebody today about your max speed. I was talking to my boss, John, because we were looking at the upper clouds, and I go, yeah, there's this dude named Harley. It flew. And I think at one point he was doing like 90 miles an hour. Get a good tailwind. He was on a mission.
Yeah, but Mark Honeycutt beat me by nearly 20 miles an hour. He's got a video out there where he's killing it really, really fast.
No
Hey
kidding.
guys,
What?
I got to drop off. I have
Yeah,
a training.
we got it.
I have to
We
do.
all have to drop off.
Yeah.
Take
Don't
care.
leave me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining
joining
on,
us,
Harley.
Harley.
Super fun. I love when you
Harley.
pop in.
Hi,
This
guys.
is
Good seeing
this
you,
is long
Harley.
overdue. We are going to go to the after show. We'll still. Oh,
Oh,
Oof.
that's the end of
That's
that
gonna
show
leave a
too.
mark.
Oh,
Oh, man.
That's gonna
Oh,
leave-
that
That is
three-bladed
not
prop is
pretty.
not cheep.
Ching.
That is
Halloween's
not a
already
3D.
passed. Why are you
Ching.
showing us all this horrific details of stuff?
Ching.
Right?
Shame on you.
Oh man.
We're supposed to be Thanksgiving, not scary Halloween.
Yeah.
That is terrifying. That's not good. for
Oh
your
no,
nose,
we're at
man.
the landing sections
we
now.
can be thankful that no one was hurt and that everybody got home safe.
Yeah, that's good. We are going to go to the
That's
after show. If you want to support the show on Patreon or PayPal, you can do that. There's links in the description. For the price of a cup of coffee, you might learn something that can save
Yes.
your life. Maybe you can get
Yes.
better at flying. So it's small, insignificant, seemingly, to support the show, to keep the show going. But that's what it does. And I appreciate everyone. It's because of you guys that are in the chat and those moderators and
Right.
the guys that come and watch the show every
Because
week.
of you.
Keep
It's
the show
because of
going.
you.
So thank you. Really appreciate you. And it's We'll have some great shows lined up. We'll see. We may or may not have a show on Thanksgiving. If I don't
No.
see you on Thanksgiving, have
No.
a wonderful, happy Thanksgiving. And make sure, most important, that you are thankful. Find something to be thankful for, even if you got to search for it, right, Sean? Even if you got to
That's right.
search. So we'll see you very soon. If I don't see you on the air, I'll see you in there. Have a great night.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Oh my gosh, I have to pee so bad.
Oh no.
I'm starving. I'm gonna go grab something to eat. But no,